In 1945, the world believed the war was over. But what most people don't realize is that the real war had just begun. Not with bombs, not with soldiers, but with borders, power, and silent decisions that still control your life today. After World War II, a small group of nations sat in closed rooms and divided the world without asking the world. Countries were created, nations were broken, and millions of people were placed on the wrong side of history. This video is not just history, this is the story of how today's world was engineered. World War II was not just a war, it was a collapse of the old world. Europe was shattered, empires were bankrupt, millions were homeless. For the first time in history, the future of humanity rested in the hands of just a few nations. And among them, three powers stood above all others: the United States, the Soviet Union, and Great Britain. They were allies in war, but rivals in vision. Three men would decide the fate of billions. Franklin D. Roosevelt, President of the United States, a man who believed America must lead the world. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of Britain, fighting to save a fading empire. And Joseph Stalin, leader of the Soviet Union, a man who trusted no one and feared invasion above all else. Each had suffered enormous losses, each wanted security, and each wanted power. Peace was their promise, control was their goal. In February 1945, the leaders met at Yalta. Officially they spoke of peace, privately they spoke of power. Who would control Eastern Europe? What would happen to Germany? Who would shape the new world order? No cameras, no public debates, just decisions made quietly. This was not diplomacy, this was division. Germany paid the highest price. The country was divided into zones: American, British, French, Soviet. Berlin, the heart of Germany, was split too, like a wound that never healed. What was meant to be temporary became permanent. Two systems, two ideologies, one nation torn apart. This division would ignite decades of tension. Eastern Europe soon disappeared behind what Churchill called the Iron Curtain. Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, one by one they fell under Soviet influence. Elections were promised, freedom was spoken of, but reality was different. The world was no longer united. It was divided by ideology: capitalism versus communism, freedom versus control. And the Cold War had begun. While Europe burned, America rose. The United States emerged stronger than ever, its economy untouched, its military unmatched. With the Marshall Plan, America rebuilt Western Europe, but not for free. Influence followed aid. This was the birth of American global leadership, not through conquest, but through strategy. A new kind of power. Out of the chaos, a promise was made: the United Nations, a place where nations would talk, not fight, where war could be prevented. But even here, power remained unequal. The victors of World War II wrote the rules and gave themselves veto power. Peace was the goal, control was the reality. The decisions made after World War II never ended. They shaped the Cold War. They shaped proxy wars. They shaped today's conflicts: Korea, Vietnam, Ukraine. The world you see today is still living with the consequences of 1945. History is not just about the past. It explains why nations behave the way they do, why borders are defended, why power is fair. Understanding these decisions means understanding the world and protecting yourself from manipulation. It At Universal Brother, we don't just tell stories, we uncover how the world really works so you can think clearly, question deeply, and protect your future. Because the world is shaped by knowledge, and ignorance has always been the greatest weapon. Thank you.